right, Davey, how about you tell us about your story last time AFI was in Toronto?
All right. Do I talk to you or do I talk to you?
Whoever.
I'd rather talk to you.
All right, yeah.
That's all right. Okay. Well, as usual, we were held at the border very, very late and for a very, very long time, and we were late to getting to the show, and we got out of the van, and had Good Riddance already played, or was it Ignite that went on for us?
I think it was Ignite.
So Ignite had already played, and I guess Trigger Happy was playing, and we went right on stage, and we started our set, and in the middle of like maybe, that's a big fly. Look at it, catch that fly on camera. Look at that. That is a big fly right there.
Oh yeah. Like a horsefly.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So anyway, we start playing the set, and maybe about 3 songs in, there's a bouncer stage right, who's, if I recall, just throwing kids into the crowd who are coming over the top.
Yeah.
And so we talk to him, and we say, look, you gotta be mellow with the kids.
Easy, yeah.
You know, don't hurt them. Leave them alone. Fine. Playing again, he's still doing it. We talk to him, leave him alone. Fine. Like we moved him somewhere else. And then we start playing, and a couple songs later, there's another bouncer who's right at the front of the stage, who's like just totally being rough with these little kids. And these bouncers are huge. Have you seen?
Yeah.
At the what's the name of the theater? Gosh, I just was talking about it today. It was the anyways, it was that theater that we were at, whatever. But the bouncers are huge.
Yeah.
And there was this one right in front, and he was really being rough with these kids, and he was 3 times their size. And so we stop in the middle of the song, and we say, look, you've got to be gentler with these kids. You're being too rough. You're 3 times their size. Leave them alone. Yeah, whatever. Start playing again. In the middle of the song, I see this huge guy, you know, fucking 300 pounds, big muscle guy, grabbing this just little, you know, he's got to be like 16 years old, like skinny punk kid, and he's just grabbing him and he's just manhandling him, you know. And so I'm trying to, I'm right in his, I get down there and I get right in his face. I'm like, leave the kid alone. I'm right in his ear. I'm screaming, I'm like, leave the kid alone. Put the kid down.
Yeah.
He completely ignores me, and he falls off like this, fucking smacks the kid in the face super hard. The kid falls back, and of course, me sympathizing with the kid, having been there many times before and knowing what it's like to be, you know, beat up by, you know, whether they're jocks or whether they're bouncers at the show. I freak out, you know. I was just telling him to leave him alone, and he just hits him. So I kind of lose my head, and at this point, after pleading with him to leave the kid alone and seeing him hit the kid, I say into the microphone, this guy just hit one of you, get him. At which point, the crowd proceeded to follow orders and go after the huge security guard, and of course, no 300-pound man is matched for, you know, 800 kids. All the security guards fled the building. I was freaking out. Kids were all over the stage. Promoters were all over the stage. Promoters were, you know, yelling, screaming, shows off, security's out of the building, everyone go home, get off the stage, freaking out. Adam ran out behind, I'm just screaming and yelling, just freaking out. Adam runs out behind the drums and grabs me and holds me and looks me in the eye and goes, Dave, you gotta calm down. You don't want to be responsible for the death of this guy. And I go, oh my God, you're so right. And I grabbed the mic, you know, and I said, look, everyone, you know, like, calm down. And I apologized, and I said into the mic, I said, you know, look, you know, the truth being, I said for you to get the guy, don't get him, don't get anyone. What I told you was wrong, and it was wrong, you know, to fight, you know, that sort of violence with the violence of 700 kids is, you know, totally unfair and totally wrong, and it would make me a murderer and make me totally fucked, and it would make everyone else just, you know, just have the blood of this guy on his hands. I mean, he wasn't innocent, but I was not the one who should, you know, be able to call for his death sentence, you know. And I apologized into the mic to him, and apologized to the kids for, you know, freaking out. Everyone seemed to be pretty cool with it, and security was gone, and the sound man was still on stage, and I guess the kids really wanted us to play. They were like chanting for us to play more, and I was saying, look, the show's off, the sound, they turned off the sound, security's gone, promoter says, you know, everyone has to go, and the sound guy turns and yells on stage and goes, I'll do your sound, I'll turn the sound on if you guys want to keep playing. And we're like, really? And Chuck's standing on the side, Chuck from Good Riddance, he's like, play. And we're like, okay. I go, well, we're gonna play 3 more songs. So we played 3 more songs. I told the kids, you know, to be cool, you know, that it was just them, you know, to take care of each other because there was no security, and everything went fine. The last song, like, it was so great. There was, you know, maybe, I don't know, it seemed like there was at least 100 kids on stage singing along with us. And it was really great. The last song was awesome. And after the set was over, I had so many kids coming up to me and thanking me for what I did, and saying that, you know, that security guard broke my brother's leg, that security guard broke my friend's ribs, all the security guards here have been beating up kids for years, no one ever does anything about it. I'm like, wow, you know, cool. I'm glad I stood up. You know, I still shouldn't have said what I said, but I'm glad I stood up for the little guys. You know. After the set, I don't know if you're familiar with that theater at all. Were you at the show?
No.
Well, how the theater works is, in order to get to the backstage area, you have to walk through the floor, outside the front door, and in another door that leads up the staircase to the backstage room. And there's only that one door and that one staircase that lets you in.
Was it the Opera House?
Yeah, it was the Opera House, exactly. So I had the genius idea of walking out by myself, going into the door, and up the stairs to get a drink of water because I was thirsty after the set. Well, there was a security guard standing at the bottom of the stairs, and after I went up the stairs, the rest of the security guards at the show followed me into the room. They followed me in there, and inside the room was me, what I remember to be about 3 or 4 security guards. Each were 2 to 3 times my size, huge, just muscle guys.
Yeah.
I believe Dan from Lifetime was there. Some kid who got electrocuted during our set had his hand in an ice bucket. The owner of the club, and someone from Trigger Happy. I got in the room, security guards filed in. I think it was one of the guys from Trigger Happy who saw what was happening, ran out of the door to go get help. The security guards closed the door behind it and locked the door and locked me in with him. And I thought to myself, okay, that's it. That's it. I'm dead. My life's over. The one who had hit the kid in the face grabs me and he throws me on the couch. And I fall on the couch and I'm just sitting there, and he goes, "Sit down, punk, we want to talk to you." It's like, oh man, I just went, I had this weird like feeling of just calm. There was nothing I could do. I was sitting there, I just kind of turned inward because I was waiting to get the shit beat out of me, like just to get the life beat out of me. And I sat there and I was just looking at them, and they're screaming at me and they're yelling at me, "We're gonna kill you, you fucking punk, you little motherfucker, you're gonna fucking die." And the club owner was there, and if it hadn't been for the club owner, they would have killed me. At one point, the guy who slapped the kid picked up the beer bottle and put it in my face and goes, "I'm gonna smash this in your face right fucking now." And I was like, oh man, this is it. And I explained to him, I said, look, and all of them had a story. All of them said that I had done something to each one of them that I had called, and I hadn't. I had done something to one, and I go, look, I don't know what I did to the rest of you. To you, I apologized on stage. I didn't hear any fucking apology. I go, well, I apologized on stage into the mic in front of, 700-800 kids. I apologize to you now. I shouldn't have said what I said. You shouldn't have done what you should have done. Fuck you, don't tell me what to do. You little fucking punk, I'll fucking kill you. And the owner of the club was an asshole. He was an idiot. I mean, he saved my life, but he was saying, he's like, you're very unprofessional. You don't know what you're doing. You must be new at this. I'm like, yeah, I've never played a fucking show before. You know what I mean? He's like, we've had Bad Religion here. We've had shows like this before. I go, you've never had a show like this before, or else you would know what goes on. We've had shows like this before all the time, and nothing like this has ever happened. You're unprofessional. My guys have never done anything wrong. I'm like, yeah, sure. That's why all the kids after the show were telling me how all their friends have injuries and wounds from these guys. And he's like, you need to learn how this works. This is not how you do things. And I'm like, okay, well, whatever. But I just sat there. I tried to remain as quiet as possible for fear of being killed. And someone went to go get the rest of my band, but they had a security guard standing at the bottom of the stairs, not letting him up. So finally, the owner of the club, took the security guards out of there. I had a big sigh of relief, and Dan, the whole time, Dan from Lifetime had my back. He was standing there. He had a weight in his hand, a running weight, and he had it behind his back, and he was just sitting there watching. It was just me and him and this little kid who was electrocuted, and we would have got killed, but one of them might have got a bruise or something. So once he opened the door, a bunch of my guys came up. They took me downstairs, and downstairs I met up with this guy Damien, who was down there. He and his friends had heard the security guard who I hit on his cell phone talking to his friends, calling them to come down to kill me. Come drive down the show and kill me. He was saying that there was this kid that they needed to kill, the kid being me. And so I'm like, fuck, I'm dead. Yeah. And they said, well, I live a couple blocks from here. You can come hide at my house. I said, great. So I changed my clothes, put on a hooded sweatshirt, a hat. The rest of the guys loaded up the equipment while I went, and I went down the house and I hid in his basement. I heard the police showed up later. I think there was some sort of like riot police thing happening. I'm not sure. I was gone. I hid in Damien's basement for a while, and then the band came and picked me up, and we left. And that was it. And later I read a review in some Toronto zine that denounced me as being a testosterone-filled, like angry, like big tough guy, and how they sided with the bouncers and stuff like that. Which, if anyone knows me, of course I am. I'm extremely filled with testosterone and a very, very macho type guy. Always looking to beat up people. Yeah. So but that was it. And
was there any like cuts or anything on the bouncer that hit the kid? From like kids like hitting him or anything?
What's that?
From like kids hitting him from the crowd.
I didn't notice
stuff?
anything. I'm sure he got bruised up a little bit. I didn't see. He didn't look hurt. But they got out of there really fast. Yeah. I saw him as soon as I said that. The bouncer was just like, they took off, which was good. Glad they didn't get killed. I didn't want anybody to get killed. I was just trying to look out for the kids. They got the big people beating up on the bouncers and stuff. But tonight, I mean, it's gonna be fine because there aren't any bouncers and everyone's looking out for each other. So hopefully that won't happen again. And I mean, I'll never say anything like that again. But now I know.
Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
And one more
don't
question.
fight. Yeah. Watch out for the bouncers.
One more question. Are you going to play a single second tonight?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes,
my favorite song.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. I'll see you later.
All right.
Have a good show.
Thank you.